Hello everyone and welcome back to Kentucky Garden Gal. This is Nancy and I'm going to start this video off in my kitchen because I wanted to show you these beautiful tulips that my sister brought me for Easter yesterday. And they happen to come from a U-Pick farm in Simpson County. And this is the first year that they have done this. And these flowers are just absolutely stunning. Look how beautiful those are. Was just mesmerized by these flowers. So I did want to share those with you, and I need to take some pictures. I haven't even been so busy, I hadn't even got around to taking pictures. But let's talk about some things that we can do in our gardens in the month of April. One of the things that I will be doing a lot of very soon is potting up the plants that I started from seed. As you can see, this is one of the little seed trays that I bought, and the tops are pretty tall. But these actually, the nasturtiums and the dahlias got so tall that I had to take the tops off. But pretty soon I will be up potting these into bigger pots. And that's something that probably should have already been done, but I'm just a little bit slow, and that's okay. I still have plenty of time. So up potting your seeds is something that you'll be doing in April in your garden in Zone 7. In our area, the garden centers and the nurseries are opening, and I have actually been out today doing some shopping for my containers, and I happened to find this braided gardenia. It was $16, and I just thought it was so nice. And a gardenia is a really nice plant to put in your bathroom because it's so fragrant. It helps if you have one placed in your bathroom. But I found this gardenia this year, and then we will go in the greenhouse and I'll show you a shrimp plant that I found this year. This is my little greenhouse. It's at least 10 years older, maybe even older than that, but it's the smallest and the cheapest one from Harbor Freight. And I have to tell you, it has served its purpose for me. If I had it to do over, and I've seen this done, I would actually build a wall or a frame here, and I would raise it, and that would give you so much more room. Even if you raised it by a couple of feet, I really think that it would make a difference. So as you can see, it holds quite a few plants. Now I do have another greenhouse that I did a video on, and that will simply be for starting seeds. So what I do to make my blooms last longer, and also my vegetables, I do something called succession planting, and that's where I don't plant everything just one time. Like, I will do it maybe 3 times, and that way I prolong my growing season, my bloom season, whatever it is that I'm doing. Like if I'm going to plant a cutting garden with zinnias, I won't plant them all at once. What I'll do is I'll get my areas ready, I'll plant part of it one week, the next week another plant, another section, and then the next week another section. And you can do that with so many flowers and just have blooms lasting far into the end of summer and early fall for us. But I wanted to give you a little update. So I found these geraniums today, and I went ahead and picked them up because they look so good. So I'll have those ready when I am planting up. It'll probably be in about a week because we have some cool days coming. It's going to start raining, and then we've got some cool days coming. So I'm just letting everything hang out here in the greenhouse. But I wanted to show you these snapdragons. Now, I plant snapdragons by my back door, and I'm telling you, I will have color through all through the summer into the fall. And last year we had a mild winter, and I even went into the beginning of winter with still some snapdragons, and I thought that they may continue to grow, but we had just a cold snap and it kind of got them. But I couldn't decide what color to get this year, so I just bought all of them. And I'll tell you the prices of these plants, the ones that I can remember. These are Proven Winters, and I went out to Pots and Petals in Franklin, and these were $4 a pot. And these will go to seed, so you know you can save your seeds from these. Now, I do have some lupin that I started from seed, but this is a mini lupin. I had not seen this before. This was $12 for a perennial, but I went ahead and got this because as I was looking down in here, there's more than one plant. I can divide. Do you see what I'm talking about? I can divide this plant. When I take this out of the pot, I'll go ahead and just gently try to pry this apart, and I should have 2 individual flowers. So when you do it like that, $6 a piece, that isn't so bad. And then, you know, hopefully these will seed and come back, but they'll self-seed and come back, but I will also save my seeds just to make sure. Now, I picked up some coleuses. I have some here and some there, and I'll tell you, just as soon as they get a little growth on them, I found 2 packs at the crop shop, and I think these were $2.99 for 4 plants, so less than $1 a piece. But it was such a good variety that I went ahead and picked those up, and they are very easy to take a cutting from once they get a little growth on them, and then they will root, I mean, very, very, very easily. So, and I like to plant, I have done a lot of hanging baskets with coleus and then different color sweet potato vines, and that's just an easy arrangement that looks great. And you can also take cuttings from the sweet potato vine. So I really like to try and get a lot of bang for my buck with all of my plants. Now, these are some that I am propagating, and I tried to do the shorter specimens, and so far it seems like they just look really, really good. Now, if you compare these to these here, this is a brown turkey fig, and so what I did, I cut the tops off of them. I had never done this before, and I have had this fig, I think it's a shrub. I don't think it's a tree. I think it's more of a shrub. I've had this thing for years and did not know to cut the tops off to propagate them. And it's so funny because a friend of mine, I talked with her just a couple of days ago, and she was talking about eating a fresh fig, and she had never eaten one before. And that's one of the things I love to do when somebody comes into my garden when the figs are ripe, is to say, have you ever tasted a fresh fig? And most people haven't, and they just can't get over how good they are. But, so I probably cut these way too long. What I will do next year, I can take this one, I can get 3 out of it. I'll cut it right below a node, and then stick all of these in potting soil or compost. But at first I thought I was only going to get this one here, but it looks like these are doing a little bit better than what I think they are. Like, I do see some life on them. So for the first year, I may get 9 or 10. I'll keep you updated on this, on the progress of propagating these figs. But I'm very excited and very encouraged about what I'm seeing right here. So down here, this is some lobelia. I picked these up, and the impatiens, all of these, there are 8. There is a pack of 8 for $3.98, so $4, and they have 3 colors of these impatiens, and I put the lobelia next to all of them, and I just thought this looked pretty. But this lobelia will cascade down. This gets really pretty. And also, these are super easy. Like this one here, I could even cut this one off and root this. These will just root in no time. So I can take these, and in a month I'll be taking cuttings to make more plants. Let's see, what else do we have here? So this is the shrimp plant that I am so excited about, and this is a yellow shrimp plant. Now, I've had the salmon color. That's a real common plant that we can find in our area. This is the first time I have ever found this plant, so I am just thrilled. I found this at Pots and Petals, and I know the perennials, the proven winter snapdragons were $4. The perennials were $12. And I can't remember, maybe this was 10. Now this is a water plant. This is also by Proven Winners, and this is a Prince Tut. So I'm going to have a water feature. I'm actually going to take one of the tubs, the vintage tubs that we have 3 bathrooms in our house, and all 3 of them had the vintage tubs. And so we took one out. It's been in the carriage house for years because we did put a stand-up tub in. But I think I'm going to go ahead and do a water feature, and I wanted to have some water plants, so I'll use this. And then this is the Tahitian bridal veil. These were $12. And I think I'm just going to put this on the front porch, like put it in a real pretty planter and just keep it out there, and then try to bring that in also. So this is looking over at the plants that I picked up, the first plants I picked up from the Amish nursery. And remember the basil that we had a cold spell and it was too close to the roof? It's coming back. I cut it off, it's coming back. But look at this. Look at this dwarf bearded basil, and there are 3 plants. Get this where you can see it. There are 3 plants in this cup. I've been gone a lot today, so I haven't had a chance to water these, but when I go to set these out, I'll actually have 3 plants. But look how pretty that is. I just thought that was really nice. And I bought, you see some lavender back here. I bought 2 types of lavender, and I am going to, oops, there's the tag. I'll be planting those, and as you can see, these are just continuing to grow up. And I had put, and look at this, in this kale, they accidentally got a tomato plant, so I got a free tomato plant. So always make sure you check your cups and see if you have any free plants. But these are some things. This Dusty Miller I wintered over. Look how pretty that is. Isn't that gorgeous? And this one is even bigger. Y'all, I still have Thanksgiving stuff up in here. Isn't that terrible? I need to get on the ball. But that Dusty Miller is just beautiful. So, and I was able to winter that over. Our last frost typically is April the 15th. So anytime after April the 15th, you should be pretty safe to set your tender plants out, like the plants that I was just showing you. But I wanted to show you this. This is a cement block raised bed. It's 2 bricks high. This was the first raised bed that I did. I did this all by myself, and you can tell because it's not very level, but let me tell you something. And I couldn't even tell you how much it cost to build it because I'm sure that the blocks have gone up. But I have done so many gardens in this bed here. And as you can see, one year I found this garden phlox. It was on, I think it was $1. It was on clearance at Lowe's, so I brought it in. And I don't have all of my holes filled. These I had lavender in, and what I do when I'm going to plant my lavender, I do 50% compost and 50% sand because they like a lot of good drainage. So I'll fill some, I'm going to do one type lavender on this side and then probably another type lavender down this end. So I'll have a lavender on this corner. But what I wanted to show you, I really struggled to grow foxglove. And you know, when you're going to a nursery and you're paying $12 for a flower like this, you know, that gets really expensive. But the foxglove is a biannual, and I have been doing, I call my garden a trial and error garden. So I experiment all the time, and just to see what I can do, what I can't do, what works, what doesn't work. But in this raised bed here, this foxglove was grown from seed, and some of it self-seeded. And what I have done, what you see left here, which is there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's about 17 foxglove still in this bed, which will bloom. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to move it all to one end, because I have already made 2 more gardens from the foxglove that I have. Like, I've already transplanted it. It's doing well, so I'm going to have foxglove in 2 more gardens, and I'll just keep doing that until I get as much foxglove as I want. And you know, having it here is a very controlled area, so yeah, I'm going to move all of it down here, and then I'll plant something here, so I'll have half of a foxglove and then half of something else. I do have some really pretty dahlias, and I have some straw flowers, so this would actually be a good place to put one of those. I don't know that they would all fit in here, but yeah, so that's what you can do in April. Now is the time that you can transplant, in this case, biannuals that have come back, and that's exactly what I've done. So let's talk about some other plants. I show this a lot in my videos. This is called tansy. This is an herb. It's Tansy. And as you can see, I have some growing there. I have some growing here. And this is a wonderful plant. First of all, I do feed my chickens. Like, I will just cut them off some tansy, and I try to give them herbs. Like, this is oregano here. I have chives over here. Jerusalem artichokes are coming up right in there. But I do try to give them fresh herbs, you know, once or twice a week. But this is the prettiest foliage to put in arrangements. and it will just, I mean, this is short. This gets really tall, but it is so pretty to use in arrangements. And then in the fall, when this goes to seed, it has the most beautiful yellow flower, which looks beautiful in arrangements. And when I post a picture of one, someone will always say, "What is that pretty red or yellow flower?" And it's the seed head of the tansy. So that's something else that you can do, is start your herbs and get those going, transplant them if needed. Now, over here, these are some trees that I believe I got these from the conservation office last year. But as you can see, these are the white birch, paper birch. I've got 4, and I have gifted, I just don't know how many, but these are such nice trees. And I have a friend that I think may want them. She has a new house, and we've been talking about planting a couple of these over there. But yeah, these were free. I just put them in one of these containers I bought from Walmart, and I have drainage holes in the bottom, and they do fine. So let me show you something else. Now, I often talk about the Arbor Day Foundation, and I've been gardening for a long time, and I have to tell you, this is one nonprofit that I think does a really, really good job. So first of all, if you join the Arbor Day Foundation, it's $10, and they will send you 10 trees, and I think you get to pick. They have, you know, like a spring section, a fall section, but you pick what you want. So I had actually joined, I'm joined under my name. I'm also joined under Cameron's name. I signed him up. So these are his 10 free trees, and I think they came last fall, and I just came and stuck them in this soil, and they did fine. You can see they're all thriving, and we'll let these grow up probably till not this fall, not fall of 2024, but fall of 2025. We will actually take these to our farm, and they will be good, viable trees to plant. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Must have some other things in here, but I think this might be a pawpaw right here. But yeah, so all these trees for $10. And I think it's a really it's a really frugal way to garden. And then they usually once a month they send you offers, and it's always reasonable. I've gotten bulbs, I've gotten shrubs, just different things. Now they all come bare root, so you can't be intimidated by that. But these were also bare root. I don't know if you saw the video I did, but these were completely bare root, but they grow and they do fine. I wanted to stop and talk just a minute about these carrots. Now, these carrots I planted last fall. I want to say maybe October, but I have 2 bunnies, and I have come out, I've been pulling from these carrots. This might have been a half of a seed pack, y'all. I mean, it just doesn't take much. But my bunnies, they love the tops as much as they love the carrots. So I have been coming out, and it looks like this one right here might be a pretty good one now, but I have been pulling carrots. They've been eating off of these carrots since last fall. There was a time in the winter when the soil was frozen and I wasn't able to pull them, but for the most part my bunnies have been enjoying these carrots since last October. Now this is another raised bed that I have, And when I tell you I am always trying new things, I promise you I am constantly trying new things in gardening. So last fall I came out and I wanted to do no, it wasn't fall, it was in the wintertime. I wanted to do some winter sowing. So I went around to all of my beds and I planted seeds. So in here I planted Hollyhock Rosea and Dame's Rocket. Now you can see that there are a lot of seeds up. And do I know what is what? I absolutely don't. But this looks like a hollyhock leaf here. Like, I do know enough that I think this is probably the hollyhock. This may be the Dame's Rocket, I'm not sure. But I often say, make sure you know the weeds in your garden. And that may seem like the silliest thing for me to be worried about. But if you don't know the weeds in your garden, you may pull a flower thinking that it is a weed. So I know pretty much the weeds that I have. This is a weed here. But now the rest of these will all be plants. Yeah, all these free plants. I mean, think if you had to go, you know, to the nursery and pay $4 a piece for these. But look at those, all those plants growing from seed. So happy with that. So now we are over in the little courtyard area of my garden by the back door. And as you can see, we just cut this tree down. We had an ornamental cherry that was in really bad shape. Look how it was rotten all the way into there. But look at this. There's another one coming back, and I haven't decided if I'm gonna let it grow or not. But what I wanted to show you is the hostas, all of the hostas in this garden bed. Now look, this is the perfect time to come in and dig up this hosta. There's one, there's one. And my sister is wanting some hostas, and I have another friend that lost her hostas, so I was like, just come to my garden and pick out which kind you want. But what I suggested was they wait until they leaf out so that they know exactly. As you can tell, look how thick that one is. That needs to be divided. All the different hostas, gosh, you could get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 easily. This could be divided. So if you are near me and you need some hostas, bring your shovel and come on over, because now is a great time. See these here? This is another one of the big leaves, and there's 1, 2, 3. I could take out this one and still have a beautiful hosta right there. This is Solomon's seal that it came from a friend of mine's garden. Actually, it came from our friend Vicky's garden, and then Junior got some from her, and I got some from him. Look how beautiful this is. This is what we call a pass-along plant. But see how beautiful this is, and see how easy it would be to come in and take a shovel and just dig right around there. And this is such a great example. Look at this hosta. Now is the perfect time to get these, because you can see exactly where they need to be divided, and you just take your shovel and go in around it and lift it out, and this plant will never know that it was disturbed. So, and I'm not sure how many trains we've gotten through this video, but they've been plentiful, that's for sure. But let's go look at some other things. As we're walking by, I just had to show you this ornamental cherry is getting ready to bloom. Is this not gorgeous? Is that not just absolutely gorgeous? We're now at the front of the gazebo, and I wanted to show you, this is the climbing rose that I planted last fall that I got from Grace Rose. She's on Facebook. I don't think that's gonna I need to train it to go right up here. But look how healthy this looks. Doesn't that look great? And I expect this is its first year because I planted it last fall. But it looks like it's doing great. It looks super healthy. These are the roses that I showed you that I had gotten from Walmart. They actually, gosh, were they $6 a piece? I can't quite remember. But these are just doing great. Now I do come out and water every morning because these are trying to establish roots. So we want to make sure that we keep our plants watered well, especially the first year when they are trying to establish their roots. I'm going to close here at the irises because I feel like I have just rambled and rambled and rambled on. So the gist of this video is that you need to wait until the danger of your first frost is over in your area in April to set out your plants, like your containers and things like that. And then after that, after the middle of the month, we're just in full gardening mode. But what I wanted to show you about these irises is, obviously these are all purple here, but in the back I have a cutting garden of irises, and when they bloom, now is the time to take a tag. And if you, like, maybe somebody is wanting a particular color, so now is the time to tag those with the color. And all you do is just take, you can use even a piece of blinds, like if you have an old set of blinds, that's what I use. And you just wrap it on here and then put the color. So now is the time when the irises are blooming. If you are wanting to identify them while they're in bloom, it's the time to put the color on them. But I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's encouraged you, maybe what you can be doing in your garden. And as always, I love to read your comments, and I just feel like I have the sweetest people that watch this gardening channel and garden with me, and then visit on the Facebook page, and I feel like we are all learning from each other. And I just felt like 2024 was going to be such a good gardening year for us. So I'm excited. I'm ready to see all these blooms. I know you are too. So it won't be long now. But thanks for watching this video, and we will see you in the next one.